And so partly why Munsif had a great eco, and when we have one player that had like 5 farms, I mean, and then John finally got going way at the end, but we already gave up all that ground, and I'm
Right.
out of there. So it's
So you were just fighting from your back foot to
So
start. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, John. Please make sure. In this game, I'll definitely in that early scouting phase. If you do not have the barracks up to build your pikemen to protect your villager, I will go for it. It's just something you have to do. So just make sure you get that early pike out there, so he's defending your villager. And if you don't have a pike that early, you want to be building a bit close to your town center so that you can always run into your town center. Okay, like just not like so far out, like away from your town center. You know where that villager was kind of like stuck making a stable, like he was like out in the boondocks. Like you don't want that because you couldn't even defend him. So that's the only reason I attacked that one time. But other than that, stick to the game plan. You don't have you focus on one area. You don't have to worry about like this whole other side or anything. I want you to really focus and support your team. Like that's your role. Period.
No, agreed. One other thing though, Dobo, not John.
I don't know why I said John.
Probably because I sometimes say it. Yeah.
Logan calls me John because he's known me since I was John.
You guys know the other John, so that's why we were like, we call him Dobo here. And yeah, sorry, it's my bad.
Okay, no worries. Sorry.
But yeah, I want to clarify. So what happened was, so I had the front, and Shoaib and Dobo were helping me, and then once I started going down, it then just snowballed because there was too much expectations from Dobo and Shoaib. Like Shoaib was probably, I mean, solid, but then Dobo can't keep up because if I'm starting to go down, then it's like, oh. Dude. Whereas if Dobo had a solid eco, he would have then been able to like 2v2 or whatever, and then kind of kept me like support me in a way. So that's what happened. And then once it just snowballed.
Yeah, that eco was really bad. My eco was fucking obnoxiously terrible that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Dobo, for you, you got to make about. I want you to start targeting about 25 farms, no matter what, at the minimum.
Yeah, I know. I try to. I just once I move to the other side, that's my thing. Is just balancing between two sides of the field, you know. And then I'll like forget to start doing it, and then I just screw myself and my team.
In this game type too, there's very little room for sending pikes here and there, like around the middle and all that. Like you can't do that because your team is like super focused. Like Logan probably needs like a lot of help because I want you to kind of think of it this way. Like Munsif, like I think Logan called it out, like Munsif's building that eco, and by the time his wave is going to come, you know, like how your wave comes, he has a bigger wave. So what you really have to do is be able to like match or at least hold that wave, and then Logan and Shoaib should be able to take care of it. Like that's your goal. Like you literally, that's what you're needed, because if one player, like it starts with Salman, more than likely Munsif and Faisal trickles in, and then Munsif comes in with this wave. The thing is, when he comes with that wave, you're ready. You're like on the spot.
No, I agree 100%. I know you're talking about when I sent a couple rogue like pikes off or whatever, and it was just because we were like, "Are we ready to quit?" And I was like,
"Got it."
Out there, but it was, but I know not to do that. It was just that, and I get exactly what you're saying. I agree 100%.
Awesome.
It was just kind of a foolish move at the end.
No worries. I think okay. Switch. Let's go. I mean, these are pretty rapid games.
Just make sure you have your switch on when the wave comes.
What on?
Your what?
Your swimsuit on when the wave comes. So.
Oh my god!
I'm wearing shorts right now. That's good enough, baby. Yeah. That's good enough.
I'm surprised, man. I thought you didn't have to wear shorts.
Did he say short shorts? Because that's what I heard.
Naked player.
All right, guys, switch and let's go.
Go munchers.
Alright, I'm gonna try to come earlier this time. I think somehow it took me a little while, longer to come join you guys in the front. My second TC took a little longer than usual, but I'm trying to do it faster this time.
Okay.
If you guys see any animals next to you and you have your soldiers next to them, make sure to kill them, not just
Yeah.
don't stand there, because when villagers come through, your villagers, I mean, they leave your units and they go to kill your villagers too.
But what about all the other Havon?
Which other hand?
All the other Havons that do you know what Havon means?
No.
Oh.
That's
Animals.
animals. What about all the other animals that'll be coming up?
Oh,
Like,
those ones.
like the French.
They have a different nickname.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's right. If Shoaib was there, he would have cracked. He would have just immediately told you. I assumed Shoaib was in the channel. But you guys felt it was fairly equal till basically Dobo couldn't help support.
Right.
Okay, good. Never even got to make the freaking Bulgarian shits. Sad times. Salman, sad times, man.
Always I messed up that game where I didn't have enough farms.
Yeah, I heard that. You know, it happens, man. You're not all there right now. It's all good.
I am Turks, so Fassel, good luck with the front line.
Copy that.
Yeah, I mean you can help with cavalry.
Hazır. Yaparım. Usta. Usta. Usta.
Must have come up earlier.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Evet.
I'll try to support with Cav and skirms.
Just get all the stone. I'm not even gonna bother.
Emrin. Usta. Usta. Usta. Hazır. Usta.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fassel, you're not building any of your houses.
Yeah, friggin' thing auto.
Efendim usta. Evet. Evet. Usta. Emrin. Hazır. Usta. Usta. Evet. Usta.
First scouts out and away.
Oh, nice! I can take my villagers inside your own town center.
Yes, you can.
I didn't know that.
Efendim. Emre tamirci. Doğru. Usta. Efendim. Usta. Usta.
Holy cool, man. Every time he's sending his units, his scout he kills them. I mean, he just sent them to die.
Hazır. Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta.
Fassel, your pikes.
Evet. Evet. Doğru. Yaparım.
Gonna build my second TC back over here.
Tamam. Evet.
Okay.
Maybe you guys can scout it.
Emret. Yaparım. Usta.
Maybe just scout, okay? So just in front of you.
Hazır ol. Tamam.
Efendim? Usta. Usta.
Take out this villager if you can. Otherwise, that's fine.
Villager? Which villager?
No, it's alright. No.
I
There's
mean,
this one
there's
spot.
there's too many.
Making my second town center here.
I made mine here, so to be safe. You can send one of your villagers here back next to me, Tristan. To be safe.
Okay.
I'm really not sure what's going on over here. He literally just built that TC.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
He had the
Well,
farm.
that's two.
I know,
That's two.
I know it's two, but still weird.
Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta.
Evet. Saldır.
Hazır. Efendim. Evet. Usta.
Hazır ol. Yaparım. Evet. Emret. Evet. Hazır ol. Emret.
Siege workshop.
Sending my scouts forward.
Bombard tower.
Yep.
Evet. Yaparım.
Rams are incoming.
Emrin?
Hazır. Usta.
Unprotected Dobo Ram.
Sending some skirms your way, Fossil.
Yaparım. Emret. İleri. Tamam.
Mustafa, you here?
Yes, I'm building one.
Hazır ol. Evet. Yaparım. Allah Allah. Emret. Evet. Emret. Saldır. Hazır ol. Evet. Tamam. Yaparım.
Fossil, can you close up that wall?
Yeah.
Emret. Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet. Allah Allah. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet.
Emret. Usta. Usta. Evet. Efendim. Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta. Hazır. Emret. Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta.
Cav.
Emret. Tamam. Yaparım. İleri. Tamam. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Saldır. Tamam. Evet. Yaparım. Yaparım.
They're coming up with a lot of cavalry right here.
Evet.
Hazır. Usta.
Hazır. Tamam. Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta.
Ow.
Hazır ol. Allah Allah.
Efendim?
LCD, you're being killed by Logan right here. Munsif.
Thank you.
Usta.
I got the scouts. I'm building a castle here by the Pretorius.
Incoming! Incoming!
Emret.
Evet. Tamam. Usta. Usta.
Hazır ol.
Gonna try sweep around probably.
Evet.
Emrin. Yaparım. Usta.
Emret. İleri. Hazır ol.
They're making a quick sweep in. They're coming in for the Pretoria. We're in trouble here.
Evet. Tamam.
Enemy retreat.
Hazır. Usta. Emrin. Efendim?
This is cavalry. Who has horses? I don't have horses to help this side.
Emret. Evet. Allah Allah. Yaparım. Saldır. Allah Allah.
They took out both my town centers.
Okay, I'm second here.
And with we pushed them back though. Fossil rebuild.
Yaparım.
Evet. Doğru.
I have some
Evet.
rams if you guys want to push with, but I
Usta.
can wait.
Usta.
Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet. Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım.
I still don't have enough stone to rebuild. I'm gonna come for a stone patch.
That's fine.
Yaparım. Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet. Tamam. Yaparım. Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Yaparım. Yaparım. Evet. Tamam.
Emrin. Usta.
Emrin. Usta. Evet. Usta.
Emret.
They're
More cavalry
dropping.
going up.
Evet. Yaparım. Tamam. Hazır ol. Emret. Tamam. Hazır ol. Yaparım.
Being attacked by iron boars right here. I'm in trouble.
Evet. Tamam.
How much stone do you have?
Evet.
40.
You need to collect some.
Efendim. Usta.
Hazır ol. Tamam yaparım. Evet. Allah Allah emret. Tamam yaparım. Tamam. Hazır ol. Evet yaparım. Evet. Tamam yaparım. Tamam yaparım.
You see this shit right here? There's at least 5 rams inbound.
Tamam. Yaparım.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the just in case. Can you be closest to man? I don't wanna die in front there.
Okay, sending the cav in. Most of the pikes are dead.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, I'm sending it in right now.
Yeah, to the skirmishes behind.
Oh.
And also the little teams. Yeah. And then what is this? A market? You can make a market?
Hazır ol. Tamam.
Shit, you can. Can we trade?
Emret. Evet. Yaparım.
Vassal, there you go. Build a TC.
Yaparım. Hazır ol. Yaparım. Evet. Tamam. Hazır ol.
God, I was
I'm building one down here.
Yaparım. Tamam. Evet. İleri. Emret. Yaparım. Yaparım.
I'm restoring my farms.
Efendim?
That's good. And more rams coming.
Hazır ol. Yaparım. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım.
How old are slingers? Are they worth it?
They're gonna be kind of like gunpowder units.
Hazır ol.
They're good if you can keep them safe.
Yaparım.
I'm trying to reboom the cav numbers.
Usta.
I try to push with the rams. Just standing there. If you have horses, we can take them down. Not
Hazır ol.
protect them.
Yaparım. Evet. Hazır ol. Emret. Yaparım. Hazır ol. Tamam.
Trying to take out that onager.
Evet. Yaparım.
Okay, good. Alright, I just want those guys down.
Onager is down.
Someone, can you, whenever you get a chance, take out this iron bore?
Yaparım. Hazır ol. Emret.
Which one?
Evet.
There is a castle there.
Oh shit, Footham's there.
Yeah, there is a
God damn
castle there.
Emret. Tamam. Hazır ol.
Shit.
Emret. Evet.
Oh, he destroyed it. That's fine. You can go ahead now.
Hazır ol. Tamam. Tamam. Yaparım. Saldır.
Hey, Ram is going by himself there. It's
Emret.
suicide.
Hazır ol. Evet. Allah Allah. Yaparım. Emret. Evet. Tamam. Yaparım. Tamam. Evet. Yaparım.
Actually,
Tamam.
it's fine.
Hazır ol. Emret. Allah Allah. Hazır ol. Yaparım. Yaparım.
Incoming paladins.
Tamam. Yaparım. Evet. Yaparım. Yaparım.
Paladins are running in.
Yeah.
Emret.
I need some.
Evet. Hazır ol. Tamam.
Evet.
They're welcome to come.
It's a scouting run.
Evet. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım.
They're coming for Munsif's, Pretoria.
Hazır ol. Emret.
Yeah, they're just gonna lose all the paladins.
To build.
They're just gonna lose all the. They're just gonna lose all the paladins.
I'm rebuilding the world. Thank you, Simon.
Hazır ol. Yaparım.
Rams, right here.
Evet. Emret. Yaparım. Hazır ol. Evet. Yaparım. İleri. Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Tamam. Evet. Evet. Emret. Hazır ol. Evet.
Shoaib's losing all of his skirmishers.
Emret. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Hazır ol. İleri. Evet, yaparım. Emret. Evet. Hazır ol. Tamam.
If you have the rams, you can push right there. Their army is down. Their army is down.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. Ah, blue just showed up.
No, he's just scouting.
Yaparım. Hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Emret. Evet. Hazır ol. Emret. Tamam. Hazır ol. Evet. Yaparım. Emret.
Alright, let's go forward. There's any more units, but should be doing it.
Evet. Hazır ol. Evet.
Get a forward though.
İleri. Saldır.
Evet. Usta.
Evet. Tamam. Tamam. Hazır ol. Yaparım. Emret. Yaparım. Evet. Allah hazır ol. Tamam. Yaparım. Saldır. Yaparım. İleri. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet. Emret. İleri saldır. Evet. Yaparım. Evet. Allah Allah.
Hazır. Usta.
Logan is scouting here.
Blue is taken over by SNA. Thanks. Again.
Emret. Yaparım.
Some green there.
Hazır ol. Saldır.
Saman, can you take out this iron bore, please?
Hold on a sec. I'm just trying to figure out which iron board you're talking about.
Usta.
Okay, I see it. I see it.
Emret.
I don't have the right forces to take it out right now.
Tamam.
Yeah,
İleri.
there we go.
Yaparım.
Okay.
Yaparım.
Okay.
Evet.
Okay, I'm gonna make some traps
Allah
and
Allah.
some rams at the same time.
Evet.
If you guys wanna push,
Yaparım.
let me know.
I'm building some Janissaries right now.
Hazır ol.
Your board problem has been resolved.
Emret.
Thank you.
Tamam.
Hazır.
Hey,
Oh shit!
Usta.
Right here, incoming.
didn't let my legend get forward. I'm fine.
Hazır ol. Yaparım. Tamam.
I got the red.
Emrin yaparım. Usta, usta, usta, usta, usta, usta.
Evet. Yaparım. Emret. Hazır ol. Emret. Evet. Hazır ol.
What they are not
Coming right
together?
here.
Why they are not together? They will have more impact if they stay together. I understand.
Near the ram train.
Evet. Emret. Tamam. Yaparım.
Check their enemies.
Hazır ol. Saldır. Emret. Tamam. İleri. Yaparım. Tamam. Evet. Hazır ol. Evet. Allah Allah. Evet. Allah Allah. Hazır ol. Saldır. İleri. Allah Allah. Yaparım.
Send your villagers to rebuild. Your tutorial. I'm trying to take the village.
Yaparım. Tamam.
Hazır. Evet. Tamirci.
Hazır ol.
Attempt failed. You're built next to me, Faisal, right?
Tamam yaparım. Hazır ol. Evet. Emret. Tamam yaparım.
Efendim? Usta.
11.
Evet. Hazır ol. Tamam.
Alright, I've recovered most of my economy.
Okay, good.
As soon as you join us, we're gonna push. I have a lot of trips. I'm gonna make them run.
Evet. Yaparım. Hazır ol. Allah Allah.
You're trying to build up right over here.
Tamirci.
Emret. Tamam yaparım. Tamam yaparım. Hazır ol. Evet. Emret. Evet. İleri. Tamam yaparım.
Efendim. Usta.
Hazır ol. Tamam. Emret. Saldır. Yaparım.
Efendim?
Evet. Tamam. Yaparım.
Hazır. Evet. Usta.
Emret. Yaparım. Yaparım. Evet. Yaparım. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Hazır ol. Evet. Tamam. Hazır ol. Yaparım. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet.
Can you guys move your armies forward a little bit?
Tamam.
Because you're just sitting in a choke point.
Evet. Yaparım. Emret. Tamam.
We'll go see if I can do a little eco raid with my cav.
Yaparım. Tamam.
There's a bunch of
Evet.
yellow villagers
Saldır.
in
Hazır ol.
Chikari.
Emret. Tamam. Hazır ol.
So we move forward or just wait? Okay. Forward. Faisal, your unit in the front, can you please move them?
What was that?
Your units in the front, can you please move them?
Yep.
Heavy raiding going on in their back line.
Moving in.
Evet. Allah Allah. Emret. Hazır ol. Emret. Yaparım.
Evet. Usta. Hazır. Doğru. Usta.
Hazır ol. Geri yaparım.
What's happened to your market?
Emret. Saldır. Emret.
Your army's just standing.
Hazır ol. Yaparım. Evet.
Hey guys, don't make the I don't make the market because I mean I forgot to like disable that shit.
No, I only did it so that Fassel could give Fassel stone. That was it.
Okay. I thought it's part of the game.
No,
You need to
no,
find
no.
out.
I only did it to give Fassel stone.
Some extra gold. Shouldn't be happening.
Hazır ol. Emret.
Paladins.
Evet. Evet.
Dobo doing a kamikaze run.
Evet. Usta. Emrin? Yaparım. Usta.
Evet. Hazır ol. Emre. Evet. Emrin. Yaparım. Doğru. Evet. Tamam.
Efendim?
What's the idle villagers?
Emre. Saldır. Yaparım. Hazır ol. İleri. Yaparım. Emre. Evet. Tamam.
Efendim? Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta. Usta.
Incoming Dobo.
Usta. Usta.
Hazır ol. Yaparım. Yaparım. Yaparım. Yaparım. Yaparım. Saldır. Allah Allah. Yaparım. Yaparım. Yaparım. Saldır. Evet. Yaparım. Yaparım. Yaparım. Allah Allah.
Hazır. Evet. Tamam.
I just like those siege.
Building a couple siege rams.
I have them on the front already.
Building a couple more.
I need cavalry for those skirmishers.
I'm making cavalry.
Evet. Usta. Usta. Oduncu.
Emre. Evet. İleri. Yaparım. Tamam.
Emrin. Efendim? Usta.
Evet. Oduncu.
Winsif, you gotta stop blocking this.
Siege are those workshops.
Hazır ol. Emre. Yaparım. Saldır.
They have problems.
Incoming Dobo right here. Incoming Dobo.
Efendim? Usta.
Emrin. Usta.
You know, on the front.
Hazır ol. Allah Allah. İleri. Tamam. Yaparım. Evet. Hazır ol. Allah Allah. Emre. Tamam. Yaparım. Saldır. Hazır ol. Evet. Yaparım. Yaparım.
Winsif, I'm gonna drop my rams out and go towards the castle and towers. Okay?
Straight to okay, go ahead.
Okay. Rams are going.
Been in for a ride.
Yaparım. Evet.
Try to go.
Saldır. Hazır ol. Allah Allah. Evet. Hazır ol. Emret.
Double rating right here.
Alright, nice castle now. From center, capture the castle.
Emret. Evet. Evet. Hazır ol. Emret. Saldırı. Evet. Evet. Allah Allah. Hazır ol. Emin.
Hazır. Yaparım. Usta, usta, usta.
Evet.
Double elite.
No, he's just gonna die there.
Catherine is down. Should we go to the town center, I guess?
Evet. Saldır. Hazır ol. Evet. Evet. Tamam. Tamam. Evet.
Can't really double.
İndir.
You're gonna keep doing this. Double's coming from the back again.
Yeah, Raj.
Evet. Evet. Tamam. Doğru. Yaparım.
Nice,
GG, guys.
nice game.
GG.
Wow.
GG.
A hell of a lot better that time around. You guys came close, but you couldn't capitalize. I don't think we had that many hits on your Victoria at all, compared to how many chances you had on, frankly, mine.
Well, there was one time I think we had like what 5, 6 Rams at Victoria, and for some
Yeah.
reason just weren't able to take it off.
I mean, you guys had it. You
The
just
one we
couldn't.
should have had.
So that was really good. I don't think we had anything near as effective as multiple raids as you guys did. You know, I think it was just attrition at the end there. I was knocked out for a while too. It was just basically Munsif and Salman as Turks. So
Evet.
I thought you guys were gonna take that game, man. With Salman as Turks, I mean, it couldn't. The balancing couldn't have been any better. I guess what happened there? You guys had a bunch of armies.
Look at the
going.
statistics. Look at the data. There's only so much people can do, I guess.
I didn't look at any. I mean, I'm not sure the data tells everything. What happened early when you guys were making a push against anybody?
I think early we had a good advantage because our strategy was to kind of like build faster, more north, right? As opposed to the last game where I felt like we struggled on that front.
Correct.
So Logan and I got our 2 TCs up kind of close, as north as we could fairly early, and then we started pushing from there, which was successful. And then Logan and Dobo had Rams, full Rams, so they were helping with the Rams too and stuff.
So
I think we had.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. So we had a pretty decent initial push, right, where we kind of like took some of their buildings out, and I think hurt Fassel's villagers quite a bit, right? So we knew it was gonna be slow. But then I guess we just couldn't capitalize on it afterwards for some reason. I mean, at one point we got Rams there, like 5-6 Rams. I thought we basically had fastest Victoria, like no question.
Okay.
But then somehow I don't know what happened to the Rams or something. I don't know, Bilbo. I think they were your Rams maybe, but they didn't go down. Like they were not attacking it, I guess, after a while.
Yeah,
No,
well,
they just
I think me and Logan both had Rams, and they just got massacred.
But I know there was
by
units in the
Purple
way too. I think Munster had a lot of help in the way too, so that helped from their side.
Yeah,
So
the
going
help
to
just
what,
kind of stopped them from moving forward, which kind of just, and then we didn't have enough military behind it to bring them down, and we just got screwed because they were just caught up in the minutia.
Whose Fedora was that? Did you actually take any Fedora out?
It was no, we almost did was Fassel's Victoria, but for some reason it didn't go down.
Anyway, just to answer Logan, so I'm on the timeline on this.
Yeah, I think we got caught up in his house.
And I'm
Like,
basically
couldn't get our Rams through, and we didn't have enough military back.
from the 30-minute mark to the 40, I would say 8-minute mark. I was out of the game. And looking at it, Saman, he was pretty much out. You guys, on average, you guys were pretty solid. I would say for the first 30 minutes, you had game-ender opportunities. Absolutely. Looking at the timeline, I was eliminated from the game between the 20-minute mark through the 42-minute mark. Okay? You had 22 minutes with no battle in it. So, I don't know, Logan. I'm looking at the stats.
No. So what happened was the sustainment of our armies is not there. What happens is we make a really good push and there's nothing backing it. But I mean, look at how many units I lost. So the sustainment's there on my part. And the other teammates, yeah, Shoaib sometimes has armies. He called it in this game where he was like, I got some guys in the back. But the sustainment is just like, it's there and then it's not there. And then it's like, guys, when you lose an army, you can't just like, oh, rebuild now. You have to be constantly building and expect that army you're sending in is going to get supported. When you just send in units and oh, the siege rams are gone. That's what happened. I mean, the sustainment's not there. You have to have a constant flow, and that's why I was telling John to get his eco going, because did he get to his 25? And the fact that I'm looking at the fact that Munsif kept sending wave after wave after wave is that his eco is solid. It's just it's great. Munsif's honestly, I want to say he's like MVP, and obviously Saman is doing great for his condition and stuff. But it's the sustainment, the fact that purple kept showing up after we kept killing all of them. And he kept showing that's the big game breaker. I mean, we had you guys, yes, but then the sustainment was not there. It was like we just let the foot off the gas or something. We need to develop that, keep going. And okay. I told the team to keep forward building, and then it's like, what happened? And that's just basically, yeah. I was forward building. I think John made a siege workshop. I think Shoaib was going, but it was just our units. We were churning through units that we never could sustain. So we have an army, died, and it's like, oh, start from scratch. So
okay, that sounds like a somewhat new potential weakness to resolve, right, rather than an old habit.
I mean, to me, it's kind of always been there, but all I gotta say is Munsif obviously doesn't have it anymore, and Saman, never did. But just,
I guess as Turks, he still would be very troubled. You know, he would have trouble. The most he can do is build a few cannoneers, but even skirmishers take them out. They're not that great. And then horses, but you have pikes, so can't really do anything there. Maybe he builds a bombard tower or 2 or 3. But I mean, with a huge heavy infantry advantage, something's off. I don't know. I mean, the advantage that you got early, it's. I know you're talking about sustain, but the thing is that unless you guys weren't using the army correctly, meaning in terms of proper defense and attacking the right units, or maybe losing units to counters that rapidly, because that could be an explanation, right? For example, Saman makes horses, he takes out the skirmishers, and and the pikes are further away. And the moment the skirmishers go down, the pikes go down. It's like a domino effect type of thing. I wonder how much of that occurred, so that even though you had an advantage, maybe you guys lost on the micro. Was that maybe the case, Shui? But like from your standpoint,
I
or
mean,
not
yeah,
really?
no, I mean the micro also definitely is definitely an issue, right? I mean,
But Fassel was kind of out of the game. He didn't
Mhm.
really have a micro, and believe you me, like it doesn't matter how good Munsef
Yeah, I
is.
think
Munsef
obviously
can't deal
no,
with
but
both
I
of you.
think the good thing is Munsef this time he kind of came. I mean, also like Logan was saying in the beginning, we're kind of like killing him quite a bit, but then he came. I think finally, because I think initially Munsef was going only mostly halves,
Mhm.
right? And those were easy to take out. But then I think he kind of changed the mix up where he came with halves, skirms, and rams, right?
Mm.
So that and a good wave, like in really good numbers too. So he caught us at the right time when we were kind of down, I think. And I think there was also some eco issues, from some of us and whatnot. But yeah, the micro obviously is still definitely an issue on our end for sure. I mean, especially when someone's cav is just coming in towards the back line or raiding or hitting skirms here and there, right? I mean, it's not like they were actively being taken out by halves or something like that.
Yeah, it just seems a little. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have to take a look at the recording a bit, tomorrow. But it is a little off that you guys would have like a decent advantage, but then, because what wins you the first battles should technically win you the mid battles too.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really matter what Munsif does, honestly. Like you would.
I'm just
you guys
using him as
wouldn't-
an example, by the way.
Oh, sure. No worries. Because I'm just going by like the timeline of Fassel, because I scouted and Fassel was sort of like out, because I think you guys took out his town center.
Yeah, in the early. Yeah,
So my point is that
Both. You took out both my town centers.
well, not just the town center, I think, but we took out like almost all of his villages.
There was a funny. One of your town centers like stayed in the fog of war, and we thought like John was like, "Is that yours, Logan?" I'm like, "No, because there's fog of war," and we had a double take, like scout again. It was weird. Somehow the town center like, did you just pop it up? But yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm looking at 39. Of course, I'm watching the replay, and like I have all these halberdiers, and there's no skirmishers to back me up, and I had a retreat. And I mean, because Saman's absolutely just destroying. And then here we go with a ram from Munsif's. He's got skirmishers and pikemen, and there's just I don't see orange in this battle. And I think John, he's got Dobo's sending halberdiers all the way from his side because he lost some of his forward buildings. But I think he built some. Yeah, he built some here. But the thing is, it's like where my army's ready to go, but like where are they? And we're getting pushed, and so it's kind of. That's what happened. We just had a really good push. We took out Fassel's town center, and actually he had a third one like right in front of his. So that would have been whatever. But the thing is, like, yeah, there's no sustainment. I mean, we keep going. It should never be a stop. And yeah, I've said enough.
So the way I would kind of put it this way is, I don't think it's wise for you to go all in on one unit. Like going all halbs, and
I didn't. I lost all my archer ranges too. I was going halbs and archer ranges.
Here's the thing. I guess what's getting me is that since you went to minute 39, the issue is that in the timeline of Fassel's saying that So I guess maybe somebody can explain this to me. You guys did a great run early. You guys actually took out 2 town centers and essentially wiped Fassel out, right? I guess the question I have is, with 1 player down, you guys kind of being untouched, how do you not, and a Turks player, okay? I just find
watch the replay.
Ah, come on, man! Don't make me watch the replay. I guess what I'm saying is, like,
Here's an example of how not to end one.
The thing is, so to me,
as Logan answers that, sometimes our team sucks.
What?
Hey, it's not that our team sucks. It's that I suck.
no.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't know. This game you did pretty decent. You were much better than the first game. So
I think we all did solid overall. It was just what happened was we let our foot off the gas. We needed to keep going, and we didn't. When we take out Vassals, yes, we need to rebuild, of course. But then it's like, why? We didn't. Our eco was not to the full maximum. If that's why Moonsif, he made too much eco, by the way. But whatever. Besides the point, he was able to create units, and that's the most important thing. Is he was actually able to replenish.
Did you guys
So,
scout? Did you guys
like-
scout to see what Munsif was doing?
Yeah, we knew he was untouched and he was gonna, you know.
No. It's not about the fact that he's untouched. Did you scout to see what the hell he had?
Yeah, I was telling you, initially it was going mostly health, and then we saw that he, you know, switched it up, like he mixed it up, which is good.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that when he came with Halds, Skirms, and Rams, you guys got caught off guard.
I called that out. I'm like, hey, he's coming. I mean, like a while back, I'm like, he's building Rams. He's coming with Rams. So we kind of knew it was coming, but I think that's also when, you know, we were having a bit of eco issues as well with the team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, whatever. I mean, that's okay. I mean, for the most part, I thought that generally everyone was doing kind of okay, at least as good as it could be. I don't know how the game would have been if Salman wasn't hurt. You know, like I don't know how that game. I don't know how that. Maybe you don't get the town. Maybe you don't get the TCs. But maybe this is not necessarily a bad a combo. You know, like what the game prior. The game prior to this, what was the it was the same combination. Oh no. Yeah, but I think that you guys just got outplayed. I think sure that's what you call it.
The first game.
The one before this, right? So yeah, so that crap doesn't count. But I guess when you said that, it wasn't because I guess you guys weren't feeling overwhelmed, right, Logan? Like in the game before this, you didn't feel overwhelmed.
Right.
Okay, so then I guess the balance was kind of okay.
We can fight initially. I think we're not bad like the initial stuff. It's the fact that we just don't sustain. We don't.
Mid game, by mid game.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so by mid
we just
game,
peter out, and then the rebuild is really slow. Yeah.
I don't mean to keep putting the blame on myself, but I agree with that. Where there's something I struggle with is eco balance and two sides of the field, and then continuing to maintain and grow it. Like I struggle with that.
So Dobo, the issue is that because you build so many halves early, the problem is that you're not building villagers. Like honestly, it's the same food. So if the first attack doesn't really go, like even if it went okay, so I want you guys think about this. Even if the first attack goes okay, and the thing is, you know, because of some of the other issues, and I didn't want to play and whatever, the counter attack would be devastating to you. So there's two problems that happens, and I just want you guys to make sure that you're not really doing any favors. So what happens is that you have someone like Dobo or somebody else who goes like bunch of house. Okay, that means they cannot build an economy. No, like it doesn't even matter. Like they cannot build an economy. Like it just won't. They don't have enough. Even if that army goes and takes it, and I just want you guys to pay attention to this. Even say Salman was feeling good, and say you take out one Fatora, you lose everything else after that. Like it's short-lived. Like you're not able to. The counterplay is so devastatingly hard that you can't, because one player like Dobo, he's completely out. Another player like maybe Logan or somebody who's like, well, you know, the best defense is great offense. The problem, though, what I'm trying to tell you though, is that if really it came down to counterplay, like we would be completely okay for you to take one Fatura out, and we take out 3 instead, because we have an economy that supports it. But you guys are like, now I'll tell you where it does work. If you only had one Fatura, and it was like all in, right? Like a 1v1 type situation. The rushes work there, or even in a 2v2 situation where you can like overpower one player, and then like and you can technically micro a little bit better, so you don't like really lose a ton of units. There is a chance on another, like to kind of 2v1 the other player. The problem on the 3-player situation is precisely if one person is booming in eco. Like they can just mass and either do a counterplay where they're just taking you out entirely while defending one side. Remember the attack to defense I was saying? So literally the guy is just, because even though the guy's Fatora is out, he knows that he has to protect his area, and he literally lets the other guy kind of like go down while the other guy is like trying to slow. So on one side, he's slowing you down by building defensive units and blah, blah, blah. But his counterplay on the other side is so devastating that, and there's no way for you to counter that. Because once that eco goes, the only army you have is the one that's in front. And it's going to have a hard time trying to get to the next patrol. I mean, we just never played out any of the games, but I'm telling you, that's why so to me, the early rush attack, unless maybe you're Huns and whatever, like maybe you can do some kind of play there to get kind of like some advantage. But I want you to understand that you're not taking that player out entirely. So if you can't take that player out entirely, and you know that the other players will come strong, right? Like because they are a huge eco, that's the problem that you're going to face. Like on maps like this or games like this where you have 3 players, right? Especially because maybe the other 2 players are just like generally better players with better ecos and whatever. So I guess my point simply is that I don't think, as a rule of thumb, you're not so because this is a training games and these are some training games. I wanna give some advice here. Rushing should be a consideration depending on civs. Number 1. Number 2. You still need to have not all players, but some players commit to it, so you have an offense and a defense. 3. Guys like Dobo or Sharky or whatever, it's best that they're not the ones doing any of it. The whole point of the training exercise is that we want them to be super support players, which means that no matter what the hell happens, technically you should always have them on the defense duty. So basically they can get to a point where they're getting in a groove, like what Logan was saying, they get in a groove of just, okay, I got my sustain, I got my build, I got my sustain, I got my units. But you cannot necessarily expect them to get units and build an economy right now. Like it'll be somewhat hard to do. So I guess my point simply is that we're not doing them any favors to get better, because they're like, doing all these strategies, and then Dobo in his mind, he's always like, okay, well, you know what, it seems to work, I guess I should do it. Except in some cases when a counterplay happens, then actually it doesn't work, and then it's just devastating because the collapse is just so monumental, because the strongest support, which Munsif was doing that, he was bringing in tons of units to the field to bolster the fact that, to actually hide the fact that Fassel couldn't really be there. That's what actually you want your support player to do. So we're not doing any favors by having Dobo do his pike thing. As a matter of fact, going forward, I actually don't want to see him do that.
Well, that, and I was telling Dobo in the last game, which I guess is another piece of advice that I've seen Fassel do before, right? Where, let's say Fassel see that he's struggling or he got hit or something, he's like, hey guys, I need 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever to rebuild my eco and then join you guys, right? Because obviously the real estate wasn't a problem. There's a shitload of area in the bottom near Dobo's area, right? As you saw. So I think I was telling Dobo that if your economy, let's say if he doesn't have enough farms or whatever, his eco is struggling, just communicate. And I'd rather him spend 3-5 minutes getting his eco fixed and come back strong versus, still trying to juggle producing units and micro units and not really taking care of either or properly.
Agreed. Because
I do have a question though. Can you send me a couple of these maps, not the one that we're gonna play next week or whatever, but just so, because I practice just when I play, I play through the ages. I don't play on these type of maps. It would just be helpful if I had a couple of maps that I could play and just against computers and kind of get more accustomed to this style.
I don't know. I think the maps are already the maps technically already downloaded, but I wouldn't even really worry about that. What I would do is you can I don't know, put a easy AI whatever, and play. Honestly, you could play any map. The thing is, I don't want you to be practicing a map because the idea is that you need to be scouting. The more important thing is
Yeah,
that
no, I mean more of the settings
So
because the settings are different. Because I don't usually
it's just a custom. It's just a custom. It's a custom game type, right? So all I'm saying is that like if you go to your custom, like if you do a drop down and do custom, you should see the downloadable game. Like
okay, all right.
like yeah, like
yeah,
you'll see it.
yeah. Perfect.
But I guess what but the overall thing that I'm going to advise is that regardless, what you ought to be doing though is just working your ego, not building like build the initial couple of pikes, right? Like you need to do the initial defense, have a scout with your stables, build, I would say don't build more than 2 scouts for you, like 2, and that's about it. And then I want you to just work on booming. Like all you got to do is your first TC, you're pumping units out, and then once you have set up a like enough of a D, like a couple of pikes, like 4 or 5 pikes maybe. If you want to build skirmishers, you can, maybe 2 or 3 skirmishers if you want, and 2 scouts. I want you to start immediately transitioning to a second TC, and I want you to be, no matter what happens, I want you to be always producing villagers from the TCs, and I want you to just put them on wood and start collect and then making farms and doing your business. Essentially, essentially right. So essentially, what I want you to do is no matter whichever game we play, it doesn't matter what game we play. Okay, this is what you're gonna do every single time. Every single time, that's what you're gonna do. And what I want you to do as a next time, just FYI, I want you to tell your team when you've built 25 to 30 farms. I want you to actually tell them, and by the way, guys, I know it'll seem random, but I want you to actually do that no matter whose team you're on. Guys, I have 30 farms now. Like, I need you to say that. So your team will know that.
It's actually a good tip because this stuff forced me to do it. I agree with that.
Cool. So and that's fine. So less on the so what I would do is less on the extracurricular activity early, and more on the eco support. Because at some point, I guarantee you're gonna have like this huge eco, and then you just be churning units like crazy. Like that's when the real fun happens, right? So the very fun that you're thinking you're getting early. Actually, it's so detrimental to you and your game. It's actually not even helping you at all, unfortunately. So and certain wins seem like, oh wow, like this is great, but actually it's hurting you so much in your team, because now when your team actually needed you to be that really good support player, they weren't able to do it. So going forward, I want you to just concentrate on doing this no matter what happens, and then whichever team you're on, you just say, hey guys, this is what I got. Here's what I have, and look, that doesn't mean that you don't like build, like apart from the initial forces that you're building, that you don't build any forces after that. All I'm saying is that before you go full crank out Dobo mode, make sure you've got the 25 to 30 farms on. You need 30 villagers on food, no matter what. Period. And then you basically advertise that to your team, and in the meantime, you'll have units also being queued up and ready to go, obviously, because periodically you're pumping units, right? And then, for example, so what you'll notice is you'll have an army, and you'll have the eco to sustain that army. So that's the kind of thing that you just really need to kind of focus on. Everything else is kind of irrelevant. Like, I don't care about any other thing that you do. No random drive-bys, no random anything, because there's only certain things you can do. And your attention span, like you said, you can only focus on one thing at a time. So the only thing I would say you need to focus on is the eco. And then when you have the units ready and the eco to back it up, basically advertise to your team, guys, I'm ready to go. I got my farms. I got my stuff ready. Let's go. And in the meantime, if your teammates are getting harassed or attacked, you do have some initial forces that you have been building over time that you should be able to lend them help with. But generally, if you're just the biggest help you could ever do is make sure that you've got those 2 TC starts. Like, you just need to do that no matter what. And I would just completely, and here's my advice, abandon the early attack type whatever. Just abandon it. Awesome. So I thought everybody did pretty, to me, I think the games turned out pretty okay. I mean, this format, obviously I made this map in 15 minutes or so, maybe less. I don't know. How did you guys like the map? Did you guys think the map was all right? Like, it worked for you?
Except for the pigs. It was fine.
Oh, shit.
Just don't put any extra animals.
Put some wolves in there, man. They'll be more fun than we can have different fronts then instead of just one area.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that there's an opportunity cost, right? And so if you do want to do, so for example, if you want to make a play on resources, there's a certain way to build.
And we can have maybe one guy, or kind of like have
Yeah, but you never did that, right? So
yeah, that hurt. But I like the fact that we can all start in that one area. It's not like someone's forced to build in a particular quadrant when the game starts. Right? So you can have different strategies for that.
Well, in this case, because I wanted to make it a little bit equidistant too, the trio thing, I had to it wasn't 100%. I had to do this weird.
I think we improved a lot because I remember when you have past maps and similar distances and shit, no one would fight for the first.
Oh my god!
So
disaster. Logan, you remember that shit? It was
remember
disaster.
the tiger in the middle.
Oh yeah. Hey Salman, I know you wanted to say something about what you did on your side as Turks. I'm sorry we didn't let you speak about that.
Wait, what?
Remember you were gonna say on the defense side for Turks. What did you end up doing really?
Well, I had a couple of spears on standby. Built some skirms to support Munsif, because Munsif was these guys said, he was mostly halberdiers, but I came up with some gunpowder, some skirms to back him up. And I left the halberdier duty kind of to him, and I just supported him with the cav and the archer, so he didn't have to worry about the skirms as much, because he had that backup already going.
I see. I remember at one point he was saying that, oh my god, I need horses. I don't know what Shoaib was doing it, but he was like, I need horses. He kept calling it out, what the freak? I wanted to say, chill out, man. Shoaib, you I don't know who made him forced him.
The skirms.
I see. Maybe that's what happened. Oh, because he had pikes, that's why. Okay, got it. Okay, shit, man, I still can't see it because he's got shitty skirms.
And I think Pass had a good idea with the onagers, right? He tried to do that a bit here.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
y'all didn't mention that shit.
No, we took most of them out, but the idea was pretty solid.
I like how you guys try to copy that idea. How'd it work out?
I didn't build onagers, man.
Who built onagers?
I did.
Oh, you did? Wait a minute, does that mean that some pancakes were?
There was one pancake. All I know is I see one pancake, and then dead.
He pancake Dobo's farmers.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, might as well none.
It was in between the archer ranges. I think. What was it? Whoever made champions, maybe Munsif or someone had champions, and the pancake, they were low health, so it kind of didn't really count. But it was just they were all bunched up, and it was perfect. And then they died. Then the onagers died, so it was kind of one shot.
Okay.
But we were already. I mean, you guys were already swarming us, so yeah.
I see. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. I think the games are. I think next week we have Sharky coming back, so.
Yeah, we do.
So it'll be a good 4v4, and hopefully Robo, figures out this thing, because I'm telling you guys, when you guys tell him to build, like the pikes, it hurts. It hurts you. I'm telling you, it hurts you guys a lot,
Well-
and actually, it hurts him a lot too.
Yeah, what did you... So, in all these games, we haven't, like, he used to... I mean, this map is a little different because there's the boars in the middle, but we kind of got together to attack. I mean, we never really, like... to me, if it's a rush in terms of time, sure, I take the blame, but at the same time, it's like, we didn't just attack without, like, siege rams, or, like, we scouted, saw, like, okay, let's hit Fassel's town center. Like, we didn't just, like, hey, I got 6 pikemen, let's go in. Like, we kind of...
No,
like,
I understand that. What I'm saying is that, so let's assume that Fassel didn't have some early game issues, okay? For because the thing is, like, I think even the week before, last week, there were 2 games that I trolled, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, we have so many problems on our side that we can't even get to you. So today it was something similar. Some of it was because someone, you know, he was too sick, and so he wasn't able to kind of look on the other side. He was just barely holding on, and he was actually very nauseated in the first, like, just to start the night. So he was just having a bad night. But put that to one side. What I'm saying is that earlier, before you even get corrals, right, you make an assumption that certain areas of the map won't get hit, so you can corral. And I'm saying is you're doing a disservice to your team because your teammates are not learning how to defend. So, in other words, fairly early, before you can even corral, skirmish attacks start happening across the line. You will never really get an opportunity to do the, hey guys, let's rally in this one spot and let's chill out and make our shit, and like, it'll never happen.
Well, yeah, I agree. So in a game when Saman was on, when you were pressuring me, and I thought I was communicating, hey, I'm getting hit on this side, I couldn't really join you and stuff like that, and I kept my focus to freaking prevent those skirmishes. Like, I kept trying to build a wall around, and finally you just said F it, and you built a castle. I wasn't looking, and I was like, oh man. But the thing is, yeah, I guess I kind of trolled them, but at the same time though, I reminded him, like, fix your farms. Like, Shoaib, I don't know if you could back me up on that, but, and he even said, like, oh, I'm working on it, and I saw, like, villagers were popping out, but it's like, he's got to be quicker than that. Like, it looked like he wasn't doing anything, and actually at an hour 12, he's got all these idle villagers just, they were queued. They weren't queued at the farms. There's a big difference between creating them where they just sit there, and also, hey, you have all these farms that are still seated. Like, yeah, just because a scout came by, they can still be used, and he didn't, like, rally them. So it's like he was too focused still on the battle instead of, like, I need to look at my farms. And
right.
I mean, we do all.
Yeah, I think especially when he's building stuff like rams, right? Because he has to micro them more than just, you know, have house waiting there, right? So I think that took a lot of his time this game.
Sure.
And so what I'm actually saying is, unfortunately, like, even in the first 2 games, since we were talking about it, like, Munsif just was, like, if I just walk in with a couple of pikes, he collapses. Why? Because in his mind, you know, remember what he said, oh, well, if you guys want my forces, I'm going to send them to you. Bro, you can't do that and leave your base entirely, like, nothing. Like, you just can't really do that. So the thing is that I'm allowing for a lot of those things to happen across the line because I'm actually not happy with the Fassel's play. So for me, it was less about what Munsif didn't do right, and I was more interested in what Fassel needs to do to improve and handle the early pressure and all of that. So we never really got to that. What I'm saying is, you can expect, and it should be expected, because technically when we play a 4-player game, it would be Sharky, right, in front, and then generally you would sort of expect some kind of, like, light skirmishes happening across the line, right? Like, that's really the play here, because remember, that is what you want. You actually want people to be able to skirmish on their own early, defend their area, contest an area, hold an area as they're contesting it, and then figuring out, as you're corralling together, to figure out, okay, which place do you want to really hit? And, you know, the guy maybe on one side is not in the best position to hit. So for example, like if you and Shoaib are going offense, you need somebody to hold the line. Like, he can't go offense too. Like, it's stupid. Like, he can't. He literally can't. He needs to be more defensive, like he's protecting your flank. Like that's what needs to happen. What's happening right now is kind of like some of Jobo can make some plays and never get hurt. Munsif can make some plays and he never gets hurt, and therefore you are able to get like, oh yeah, chill. I guess we can corral here and just let's go. Like that won't happen is what I'm saying. Like it just won't happen. And so what I'm actually doing is I haven't really kind of gone there, but I think in the last week we kind of started going there, and actually I don't know if you guys noticed, Sharky and Munsif were kind of skirmishing. Like, I mean, Munsif was not like remember Shoaib, you told one of your strategies was like, hey, just kind of deal with Sharky. Actually, you know what happened? He went off on an island and he couldn't really like they were just kind of at it with each other. So but here's my point. My point is that's actually good. That's what you want. That makes Sharky better. Like the week before, Sharky just collapsed completely with Munsif, and he wasn't good. I worked with him a little bit, told him a couple of things, and then Sharky was like able to contest and hold an area. But that literally meant that those two players got locked out of the whole, like basically they didn't exist in the game, right? So now what happens now? It's a smaller game, and then you have Dobo in the back, and the problem is Dobo, to your point, he's not able to sustain. Like he can't sustain you. So to me, that's the issue that you guys were experiencing last week, where Dobo is not able to sustain because he, in the early part of the game, he was all gung-ho about helping you guys with army units, quote-unquote. After that, he was gone. He literally never showed up till like much later. And you know, there's so much shit going on that the same stuff that happened to you in this mini game, you know, when you and Shoaib were trying to hold, is the same thing that actually happened in a mini game in that game last week. When actually, if you think about it, this is what really happened. It was like it was going to be a 3v3 on one side. And the problem was, I wasn't really necessarily always going out and attacking unless it was kind of like, okay, there is no hope. Dobo is like useless right now, and the game is just, it needs to end. That's why you would see castles and other shit, because it's kind of like GG already, because Dobo didn't take care of his economy, and then it's kind of like, and then you guys were struggling. So a lot of times, you know, when you guys felt like, hey, we can make a push, or we should be able to defend this, actually it was just the support. Dobo had some farms, but then he would randomly send his units somewhere else, or whatever. Like, so what I'm actually trying to show you is now, from that macro game, we went to a mini game, and in this mini game, when it was just the 3 versus another 3, you correctly identified that, oh shit, you know, like we got this early advantage, and now we can sustain, and it's the same problem. So by mid game, it's GG, like you guys are on the back foot, and blah blah blah blah blah. So the thing is that it's not helping Dobo. Like Dobo didn't actually get better for the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. How long is he going? He just hasn't gotten better.
Well, I think he has, in terms of the fact that because he used to just go rogue. Now he's actually like with us. He made some rams. Like he's starting to get that team player. I feel like that's improving.
Yeah, I think part of it's because of where he's positioned in the map, right? Like he's behind 2 players. He's in the back line. He literally can't go anywhere without crossing you guys.
Right, and then we would,
you know? But if you were left alone,
we'll just wall him off.
Oh my god. He would go off, and
you can't leave this palisade wall until...
You'd be like, what the Dobo, where are you? And there's like, man, oh god, whoa, man, you know? So I think that's the difference too. So obviously, you know, at least at this point, we just need him to be that great support player. Like, he just needs to be a support player, even though his offense is not going to be the great. But guess what? It's that mid, you know, that I would say past early, before mid, that's when he starts trickling in, and then by mid game, the dude is like, you know, full steam. He's literally full steam with you. That's what you really want, because if you kind of think about it, certain advantages you have, you know, like, you don't have to always kill the guy, right? You know that, right? Like if you hurt him
Yeah,
enough.
but it feels good.
Shuaib. All I'm saying is that the problem is always in the 3.
No, I'm joking. But the interesting thing in this game is, you know, even if you kill the guy up front, you know, there's a lot of room to build other eagle in the back. Actually,
there is.
Like
So
you're not out of the game. Yeah, you may lose your Victoria, but you know, you're not nowhere out of the game.
So to me, I think that's where you guys need to like maybe focus a little bit and say, you know what? I don't think we have right now enough force. Like maybe we take one Fatora out, but so what? Like at the expense of what? That's where you have to use and be like, oh shit, okay, let's look at our weakest link. Yo, do you have the economy? Do you have the, you know, I don't know if you guys are doing economy counts. It would be really useful.
We need to.
Oh man, like, can you imagine if you did an economy count and Bilbo's like, mid-game, I have got 200 food?
We did a couple, what was it? Yeah, like, I mean, ever since you said the 25 farms thing for him, I've asked him how many times, and then I think I even did a population count and, like, stuff like that, but, I mean, definitely not a resource thing, but I don't know, I'm just, it's hard.
Do the food count, and, because, you know, even if he's got that, you don't know what the hell he's putting his pop into. I mean, the thing is, chances are, he's probably just gonna put his pop back into pikes, because that's the only thing he knows what to build. So you know, you gotta work. You gotta kind of tell him, like, obviously there's some guidance you have to give him, but right now he just needs to get his eco going, and then he'll have like units. The problem is, what you don't want is you having pikes, and then he just randomly rolls up with like 50 pikes, more, and you're like, shit. The guy's got skirms. I'm dying. That's why I moved, and you got more pikes. GG. There's nothing you can do. You know, like that's what you don't want. So, anyway, to me, that's the part that if you can work with him on, like that would be really good. I'll continue, you know, obviously be working on Sharky just because I want him to just, if he's able to like hold his own and work with Munsif, which I think he did decent last week, and he continues on that path, then I think a lot of these folks are interchangeable. Like Munsif and Sharky being interchangeable, and then Dobo can eventually swap. So then what we'll do is we'll take the weakest player. It'll just kind of work like that, you know. So, but I thought the games were pretty good. I mean, we salvaged the night. I thought we salvaged the night.
And we won 1 hour behind, so we finished on time.
Oh shit!
It's 1 a.m. right now.
But Munsif was like, let me dip, man. Let me get the hell out.
Wait, isn't it? Yeah, no, you're right. Now I'm looking at it, it says 1, but I thought it was like next week.
Oh man.
It used to be like next week, you know, but they changed the track. I think.
Yeah.
By 1 week.
Fall back. Does that mean we get another hour of voting? Just kidding.
It just means that you're the silent majority Trump's been talking about. I know you're that guy. you're that guy.
Streaming. No, fuck Trump. God damn.
Come on, man.
Dude, did you see that article where these old people were saying that they're voting for Trump because of his Christian values? What Christian values? And then like loyalty? What's her name? Melania was talking about loyalty, but it's like your husband cheated on you. Oh my god. A question I have, I'm looking at the map. Why is there a mark? It's not built, but was Vassal able to make markets?
They shouldn't have technically been able to.
I don't know, most of it said has some trade profit in the stats, so I guess maybe they were able to make it.
I mean, I don't think that didn't. I mean, I didn't see too many gold units to even make a difference. But I think that I'm like, why is there a market? And like,
so,
were we too stupid to check?
I did check. And I saw it, and I didn't build it. Then Fassel, the thing is, when you took out his TCs, he actually didn't have enough stone to build another TC, so he got just stuck. So I said, okay, you know, I'll build a market. I sent him 100 stone. And then Munster started trading off of it, so I deleted the market.
Okay. That's funny.
They would have. I think they would have technically had the Faster would have mined the stone from the stupid stone patches.
But did he not have enough wood?
No. The
No,
boars
yeah.
killed his villagers, so I just said okay.
Got it.
Shit.
Okay, that's what happened.
Damn it, Troy. How did we not see that? I'm glad we didn't, but that would have been funny.
Damn.
Well, the game would have probably been over a lot sooner, because gold units would have been just like all over the place. Onagers, like, yeah, paladins, my boyars.
Well, I technically allowed you guys to take those relics now.
Yeah, we got them. Yeah.
You know.
But so what's funny is I don't think we needed to get the berries.
I did not get a single relic though.
Yeah, we took him. Domo and I just went and snatched him up. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I needed to do the berries because I went there with a monk and he picked them up and I'm like, what? Like, and yeah.
I don't know about that. Maybe I'd open it up something.
Did you? So well, you'll see. But the yeah, somehow he was able to reach over for some reason. There's like 2 spots. Maybe there's supposed to be a berry patch there, but you
Yeah,
didn't put it or something.
maybe.
But I don't think he could walk there though. So I don't know. It's weird. Oh, and then we were talking about the fog of war glitch.
I think yeah, it's one of them. There's like one berry bush is missing, I think.
Yeah, but then on the other side too. So that's what's weird because I'm like, I can't get to that bear or that relic, but then he was able to. So I don't know. It's
No,
the
no,
one
no.
that
So
took
what I
one.
think happened was it's on the corner. So he grabbed it diagonally instead of the tile next to it. He grabbed it diagonally through the berries. That's what I think happened.
Gotcha.
I see.
But it didn't matter though. We already put our time into getting the berries. It's not like we grabbed them right at the beginning of the game to get a gold advantage. So it's not like I think that made a huge difference.
On you, man. They took the relics. They didn't even share shit.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, you know what the worst part is?
What's that?
Shoaib was Lithuanians.
No! No!
I called it out early in the game.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's true. So what's funny is I didn't go for the relics until you yelled at us the second time. The first time, because John commented and said like, yeah, we're trying or whatever. Like I was getting the berries on one side, but then the other berries I just attempted since no one was getting the relics. So I don't know. Shoaib was, and then I just said it was too slow.
Hey man, but the thing
Yeah,
is, you could have given it to him. You could have given it to him.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's messed. Should did you at least tell him, hey, I'm Lithuanians, I get a bonus?
Only at the beginning. Only at the beginning.
Shit. So I think Shuib, even you forgot, which otherwise, hey, if Shuib remembered, he'd be like, yo, bitches, hand them over.
I had a monk waiting there ready to collect, and then when I went back to collect, they were all gone.
So the other thing too was the what was it? When we got the relics, all you told us to do, make more siege rams. You got more gold for rams. So I think, yeah, if you remembered your Lithuanians, like, I don't know, for some reason, some of the civs in this type of play, I just, as long as you have halberdiers, pike, or skirmishers, and then if you can do a siege ram, like, and then obviously hussars help too, but like that's, I mean, a lot of the civs have that, so it's kind of, or at least, maybe not all 4, but 3 of the 4, and so then like the units
man,
don't really.
All I gotta say is the Turks help.
Oh yeah, you definitely needed them for sure, yeah.
No, I actually, you know what's funny? I didn't know, but Fassel actually opened up and got 2 relics. He didn't tell me.
Wait, did you get them at all though?
Much later. I got him around. I got him around the same time, if not a little, like 5-10 minutes later after you guys went for your relics.
Gotcha.
But Fassel was the first one out of both teams to get relics.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of them honestly, because to me it's like our gold inflow is enough to make the rams for the strategic hits. So that was kind of, I try to focus mostly on that. Because to me, we need most work there. I mean, the relics, yeah, it would actually push you in more into the gold territory, which some folks can handle, and it doesn't make a big difference. So,
Shoaib,
yeah.
are you one of those folks that can handle?
I'll be handling that next week.
man, it's like we don't get to really play the Civs properly because, shit, you know. I mean, I don't even build them I don't really build gold units particularly. Just I would love to, but shit. If I even build some gold units, it'd be like people start crying about like, oh shit, Blue's got gold! Oh my god, look at it! Shit, man. I wanted to try like the new Civs unique units and the Kepchucks and whatever, and I was like, shit, it would be so cool to use them, but then I was like, shit, they'll be hella OP. So I didn't even make. I didn't even make any. I was Bulgarians, and I didn't even make any. So I was like, whatever. But I was just running patrol. I was just patrolling the mid. I was like, nobody getting it. I just defended. But man, you guys were going at it hard. I actually thought that you guys were going to be able to do it. But then when I scouted Dobo, and I scouted like your economies, I was like, shit, they're screwed. They don't know it yet. They don't know it yet. They're screwed. But I did send, so the horses that I sent to you guys is the same also horses I sent to the other side. And I let them die on both sides. So it wasn't just for you guys, it was them too. It's just that when I sent them early, these guys I think were definitely on their back foot. And then when you guys started getting a little bit on your back foot, then I sent some horses on Munsif's side. He started crying about his villagers. He's like, who's attacking? Guys, help! I need some D. But other
What
than
do you
that,
think of his farms? What's his farms?
what about him?
Well, you talk about like keep him close to the town centers and or not the villagers. I mean, not the farms, but the villagers. And so he goes off and takes so much land for his farms, and then he wonders like he always like, oh, I'm getting sniped right now, but it's like, dude, they have nowhere to run. Like you put like an island with that mill, and it's like the mill can only do so much. And honestly, he probably doesn't even. Oh shit! Who is the Khmer? Because you can put farms all over the place because they just auto seed or auto collect.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Like he has no idea about that.
But he has to have a mill, and then he does his little spiral around it. I keep wanting to call it like a swastika, but yeah, it's how it's laid out.
What? He should. He went right there, man.
The inner Trump is coming out, man.
I'm telling you, man.
It's getting close to the election. It's hard to contain it.
Well, to me, I obviously don't like it, so I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you making them? God damn it. I would, dude, if I liked them, shit, make more, man. What the fuck?
Just like Trump didn't denounce white supremacy, I didn't hear no denouncement of the swastika right now.
Nah, he's got some holes and stuff and whatever. So I don't really say anything about it because he's kind of like doing stuff. But hopefully, when there's a bit more skirmishing going on, it should technically.
How was his communication this last game?
Not
all
really.
I can say, I mean, to all the communication, I feel like our communication it's definitely a step above, like, I don't know, a year ago.
It's better than 0. And then I think he said like 2 or 3 things, but you know what? His voice was like mumbling, and then I think Faisal asked him to repeat himself like a couple of times. And you know, overall, it was still, you know, not really.
Oh, he did Shoaib, or wait. It was game 1, the early games.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? About the fronts?
The what?
He screamed at us, remember? I think Logan was telling him, hey, you have shit here. He screamed at us saying that he can only do one front at a time.
Oh yeah, that. But no, so yeah, that. But I mean, hey, I'd rather him yell about that than like, where are, or like, I'm not there, or I'm not ready yet. But the one thing he was complaining about, shit, what was it? Oh yeah, he sent, it was like in the early games, he had the cavalry, and it was Turks, and I'm just like, dude, you could be sniping villagers right now, like, don't just sit there, because like he had all these like hussars, and I'm like, go and do something, like, don't just sit them, and like, because he was, I forgot what, we would have to watch the replay, because he said something that just made it seem like he wasn't like, he just sent units and that was it, he didn't really like care for them, or something, I can't remember, but I'm like, dude, yeah, because, I mean, oh, yeah, that's right, he was like, I'm the Turks, I can't do anything, and I'm like, no, you can do a lot, like, see this villager right here, go kill him. Like my pikemen and skirmishers will like take out the other units. Your hussars can then go and get the villager, stuff like that. I think, and maybe he'll finally start understanding that he can do like multiple things, or like, oh, I could be scouting with these the hussars, or I can be like forcing villagers that usually my villagers get killed by. Right? I mean, that's
well. I guess the part of the problem is that he's not really getting pressured. That's the issue. Him not knowing what to do is part of it, and the reason he'll continue not knowing what to do is because he's not skirmishing enough. And the problem is that he's not getting touched. So my point is that so therefore he can corral and he can do all those things and he can zerg and he can blah blah blah blah blah. But I'm telling you, Saman feels a little bit better, and we get another player, that the dynamic will change, and it's not just like me doing anything. It's just the dynamic will change, and technically. You want actually like skirmishers across the whole front, honestly. Like you don't want people doing, because here's the thing, it takes time to corral too. You see, like it takes time, and you're wasting time. Like you guys should be like contesting and getting your eco scouting and contesting the area in front of you. Honestly, that's what it is. People should be scouting their front, not like one guy scouting the other side of the map, which is stupid. Like you should not be doing that. Everybody should be scouting their area in front of them and reporting to everybody. Like, hey, this is what's in front of me. This is what's going on. Like that's how it should be. Not like Logan on one side or Shoaib on one side and he has to send scouts all the way to the other side to see what the hell's happening. Mm-hmm. Like that should not be occurring. So those are the habits. Those are the things that everybody needs to kind of work on to probably have more fun games so that people are more engaged. There's something to be said, right? If no one's attacking, you're not doing anything, then you're just kind of like chilling, Like the game is as such that you could chill almost a little bit. But if you're like fighting, like there's not, like you will never see like his units struggle, like he'll be building units to fight, like period. So I think that's kind of like a little bit of what's going on. So
well, yeah, no, I agree. I think the other thing too is the objective, right? Is that there's that like whatever you call it, like the objective is right there. Like, so how do we tackle the objective? If you're just sitting and doing eco and creating units but not doing anything with those units, how is that helping the objective? Like I think maybe that's the underlying thing. So put yourself in. I think I was using those words actually. And I think about it, I was like, you make those hussars, you like make them worthy or worth something. Like send them around. Don't just keep them in the back waiting for just a line of villagers or skirmishers and no pikes to then charge. Like send them, make them useful. Like I think I was trying to say that.
You wouldn't understand that.
That's what Munza said. The SARS.
Oh come on! I think a freaking 10-year-old knows what useful means. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that for people for it to be actionable or useful, they need to be
actionable.
fighting.
There we go. Yeah, actionable.
If they're not, then they won't really know how to identify situations where they can make something actionable. So it's just kind of like that. I mean, again, Munsif can't be just chilling. Is what I'm saying. And generally, that won't be the case. It's just that we had some other
because we were yeah.
So which is whatever. I mean, it's kind of fine. But I gave you an example. I mean, of and I was being very nice in that the previous game or the game before that where I came in and attacked you or on your side. I was being very nice actually. But if I really came
to
in
me. Well, you just said you gotta fight me and not help Saman end the game sooner.
No, but what I'm saying is that there was a there was a price to pay for if everybody is going to go
Oh,
charging.
by
And
the way, I didn't know what was going on there. Do you saw that little like I made 2 rams and made a little army to like, oh, I got to take out these castles. Like honestly, I didn't know what was going on, so that's what I did. And I'm thinking if I had those units on the other side, I think we would have won that game. But yeah, I don't know.
I made you make you pick your poison. You had to decide what did you want to do, but the castle in front of you was too great. It was too great for you to. I think it was a pride thing. You couldn't let that castle shame you. You needed to take it out.
Sort of, sure. But I was at the same. I was kind of. I just moved the villagers. Well,
I know.
I mean, I think you should always get, maybe I don't know what you're wanting then. Like maybe you did want me to fight you. That's kind of like maybe that was it. And I did eventually like move some villagers, all the ones that were going to get hit by the arrow fire. I moved them to the side, and then Bombard Cannon started getting Dobo, and Dobo didn't really do anything about it because he didn't know what to do. He was like, I was telling him build over here. He was like, I have no eco, and I'm like, yeah, you got to rebuild it somewhere. Move away from this stuff. And yeah,
He lost the skirmishers. He lost a big chunk of his army before the bombard towers came up. By the way,
okay.
So the thing is that he had built he built pikes, and because I already knew where his pikes were, and he built like a ton of skirmishers. And I mean that blob, literally the blob, was going to go to help the front, and I just basically waxed it. Like his skirmishers got iced by my cavalry, and then he moved his pikes, realizing. But then I already had like my archers and shit, and then it was like he was kind of like shit, they're dying. He kind of wisened up at least and kind of moved his pikes back. But then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to build bombard towers till you actually do something about it. And then of course he wasn't. But again, it wasn't. That wasn't really a thing on Dobo. Really, it was really about, you guys cannot just forget everything and just concentrate on one thing. You see what I mean? Like you can't do that because when you remember the offense to defense, somebody's got to play defense. And the thing is, you guys go all in on offense, and then no one's on defense, so the home is empty. But Salman's taken advantage of that multiple times. All I'm saying is I just nudged. I just came in. I actually didn't even necessarily. I surrounded your area without necessarily going into your area. I just went into the area like when I knew that okay, the guy doesn't have an answer. He can't really do anything. But the larger point I was saying is, how is it that you can let a castle built next to your TC? That is just crazy.
Well, yeah, I fucked that up.
There you go, man. Come on. I mean, like, awareness? There's no way that you are not, like, you should.
I think I was trying at that time. I mean, watch the replay, but I believe I was trying to build stuff on the left side, and then I came back to my base and I was like, oh, there's a freaking castle getting built right here, and I had no like skirmishers to handle it, so they were stuck on. They were out of range. Your villagers were out of range.
Oh, you see, that's how you build a castle.
So
that's how you build a castle versus the castle you had built. Remember?
Yeah.
There's a big difference in how the castles were built. One you can't really defend. The other one easily defendable. So I think, but it's not even about the castle. It's really about. I'm telling you, when we play the other game, like when we play next weekend, I want you to actively think. You can't have 4 people attack. You just can't. Because if you do that, I'm actually telling you ahead of time. Skirmishers are going to break across the line. If you guys think that you guys are going to have time to corral and make your siege and rams and shit, good luck with that. Because now you guys know the map. You guys, have your team. You kind of worked with each other. You're communicating. At this point, everybody should be able to handle their side of the map. There's something to be said about people actually holding their own. And I don't mean like, oh, you're going to go and take out the Fatora of Salman or whatever. Hey, man, but at least you should be able to hold your area. Like, at least you should be able to do that. I mean, Logan, with you and Salman, I think you should be able to do that. Yes, maybe it's a stretch to say, oh, I'm going to take out his Fatora. But to hold your own in that one area in front, easy. That's easy. Like easy. There's nothing stopping you from ever doing that. Actually, most of the times, I think you generally are okay when you're kind of holding an area. I think it's when you start attacking and you lose so much that on the counter attack you get wrecked. Like that's where it hurts you a lot. But on holding the area, I think you do a pretty decent job. So it's really a matter of like, if you're going to take a fight, are you going to take a fight that you're going to win? If not, better to hold on and contest. And of course, we all know what happened with contest, right? Contest doesn't mean that you build something that causes the other guy to attack you, because it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing unless you know how you can defend. Like you have to know you should be able to defend. So the scouting in front is big. And then while that's going on, you're hoping that everybody else across the line are also skirmishing and fighting and whatnot. And now the support players become the key. They're the ones who are like, okay, let me send my units and help this side. You see? Like, that's how you want to play the game. Honestly, that's the support. That's why the support player is so critical on where and how he uses it. Because maybe, not all matchups go your way. Some matchups, maybe you're ahead in the line. Some other matchups, you're kind of behind the line. But that's where the support player in the backside is like, okay, I'll help support the gaps, the holes. Or maybe if you're doing really well, okay, let me help with a push. That's when you can be like, okay, things are going pretty good. But definitely somebody has to stay home. You need somebody on D. So technically at that point, like in that game that we played, you would have actually D'd up a bit on your side because Dobo had one job, build pikes and skirms and help Salman. Period. Literally, that's what Salman wants him to do. Just build shit and send it to me and support my units. Salman would take care of the offense. You would sort of be kind of mostly on D, but with a little bit on O, but mostly D. So I would say 80-20. And then you'd be fine. It's just you never got the opportunity. So, shit happens, but that's okay. Not a big deal. But what I'm saying is whatever happened to you in that game is what actually would happen or has been happening to smaller extent, like with the Munsif, like in the other games, like the counterattacks, not knowing, oh shit, now what do we do? We can't do anything. Oh crap, like, oh my god, like this army is here. I can't really support this. I can't, because I sent all my units. So, obviously Munsif is going to have to learn that he can't just send all units. Like, because I'm telling you, you guys are doing a disservice to him because he's not learning how to skirmish. He's literally not learning. So, he doesn't feel comfortable to fight because he's not fighting, if that makes sense. Like, he's not fighting. He only fights with you guys. Like, oh, there's security in numbers. But he's not really fighting the real fights that he needs to learn. Even if he loses, it's okay. But he needs to learn to fight those fights, those mini, small fights. Those are huge. And that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping he's going to do with Sharky, Shoaib, and I don't know, Faisal or Salman or whatever, you and Faisal or Logan, Salman, Logan. Those are the fights that should be breaking out with Dobo in specific targeted areas, helping like weak spots. That's how the game ought to be played correctly. And then you would just kind of naturally win out a particular area, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm understanding it.
Cool. So, I mean, good games. I'm just glad that we were able to salvage the night because it was just going pretty bad.
Yeah, the game times are pretty good too overall.
Yeah, the I don't know if you guys noticed, this 3-player map is actually still big.
Yeah, it is.
Huh?
Well, I also like the fact that in this game, which we didn't really take advantage of, but in this map, I mean, the Victorias are right next to each other, right? So technically, if someone comes in with Rams or Trebs, I mean, we clean the whole thing
GG.
up.
There you go, man.
I mean, that is what happened one of those games.
Huh?
They said that did happen one of those games.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Me,
So,
me and Munsif came in with the Trebs and
I know.
Rams, bro.
That's when I said Lesser Zan.
His pride would not let him see the Fatoras go down. Like, you know what? Screw this shit. I'm out of here. I'm outie. That's funny, man. Come on, man. You don't even let the guy get the satisfaction of taking out your Fatora, man. You
No,
guys.
we took out all three.
Oh, did you? Okay. I'm just glad they didn't immediately auto quit.
I
But
think quit on the last one.
we have a good map. I had a map for you guys for that we could have played. That actually is that can be actually played 4v4. I actually want to see how that map turns out with you guys. So we'll probably end up playing that next week. But
Cool.
you know we'll see how it goes. I think you guys are so used to now this one map. We need to switch it up now. See how people respond. Watch. It's going to be like, what? What's going on over here, guys? This is messed up. That's all right. You know, I think it'll be a collective. Collectively, we'll figure things out with the scouting. By the way, do you guys generally feel scouting's gotten better, or?
A
I
little
think
bit.
from our side, I mean, I think we are scouting a bit better, but the problem is we're not communicating when we're scouting a lot of times. So
Sorry, might as well not
the,
be scouting.
the scouts are actually patrolling and going on, but and then the intelligence is muted. Let's see.
That is so funny. Okay, so you only get to see the map from your perspective, and you're hoping that the other guy sees the map, but nobody's really calling anything out.
I mean, come on, Shoaib. The first two games, we scouted that Saman's building a town center right next to Fassel, and so like I don't know. I guess that was the last part of the scouting, but we knew we were hitting Fassel, and we scouted like I even scouted. I told you I like scouted Blue to make sure that army like is there something that's going to come in and just wreck us, and he was actually like led away or something. I don't know, but then we hit him, and Fassel. Yeah, that's a different kind of game though, because like you said, Fassel was. I don't know, in another world or something, but yeah.
No, I just think that, like I was telling you, that, you know, a little bit slow start, and then I kind of already was looking at what Salman was doing.